Hello, my name is Mike, and I'm a recovering political junkie. Although I might slip as we approach the midterms, if I could do anything about the continuing mess that got Trump elected, let's move beyond what I don't believe I can control and what I can do, but I'm not sure what is the difference. Next question. I live in Vegas. Yes, that Vegas. And let's do hobbies while I'm at it, since I always get a response walking around in my 49 gear, Niner gear. Is that a hobby? I guess, but I have since tempered my following of the San Francisco Giants to determine if it is worth the emotional investment. The same goes for the Niners. Outside of this program, does this certification count as a program? I have six Star Trek novels in my head and a few short stories or videos if I can learn how to use modern video technology beyond my mug on a YouTube video that are in line with using Star Trek as a platform to express social/slash political issues. The two main ones where my mind wanders is the Caesar's Palace post-apocalyptic free clinic. You can ask about it if you want. The other is my final novel where the Starship Excelsior goes into Romulan territory at the end of a brutal war and with the same Romulans. Perhaps negotiating a peace treaty is a sidelight for this class because I also deal with what to do with the commandos and crew of the Excelsior and how to reintegrate them into a peaceful galaxy within the Federation. I just watched the last episode of Band of Brothers and the Pacific, which deals with this to the same degree. Enough of that. We can go further if that becomes important. As for my career in teaching, I guess it started in China when I taught English for 3 years. There, I started with teaching toddlers, 3 to 6 years old, their ABCs phonetically while I was playing with them. Or was it the other way around? For the rest of the time, I taught high school English with students who were surprisingly like the high school students I encountered when I was in high school in the late 70s, graduating in 1982. Their attitudes were the same, except for getting an apology letter for their immaturity in grammatically perfect English. In both cases, I was able to use the technology available, where the Chinese politic was more of a problem than availability, as well as my limited grasp of the technology available. After leaving China, I was a substitute teacher for 3 years and later taught in high school. I will put the next part in my written version transcript of this presentation, but I don't want to talk about it. I want to prepare my students for reality, not Sesame Street. I'm trying to tell you something about my life. Maybe insight is what's between black and white. The indigo girls, closer to fine. As for my profession/slash jobs, let's start when I graduated from San Diego State with a political science degree, right when the job market fell through the floor to Generation X, which I consider myself the original Xer. I ended up in the Navy where I found out that California was not the center of the universe. I am Bay Area born and raised. I was in the Navy for 10 years, 5 of which I was a real DP, computer geek, where I was the best help test technician ever had when the Navy, along with corporate America, migrated to using computers and the internet. I started before Windows became an operating system. Does Windows 95 count? Sort of. Seriously, this was when Pentium and the internet fundamentally changed how we do business, and the Navy had its own challenges, some of which I can neither confirm nor deny they ever happened. The bottom line, this is the basis of how we use computers and the internet. Although I was an important part of this, I now find myself needing help because I fell behind the power curve. This video is an example of what I can do when I want to do more. This semester, my other class, DPM 622, the Business of Distance Education, I might have passed the class and finished the program if I was able to put together a good presentation. For what it is worth, I do not look at this as a failure. I see this as an opportunity to learn how to make videos and learn the technology of teaching in the digital age. I am not at the end of the program, and I am at the end of that program, and my continuation of this program depends on what I get and what my employers need. Beyond that, I would also make some top 10 YouTube videos or perhaps top 12 episodes of Star Trek that deal with addictions and the problems that come along with dealing with addicts. The only one I can think of that works is Bards of the Dead, Voyager Season 7, Episode 3. Perhaps I could come up with 10 teaching episodes. Certainly, I could do top 10 political slash social commentary episode, but rejoin Deep Space Nine Season 4, Episode 6 is at the top of the list. I can also rejoin Band of Brothers. The videos, several of them dealing with PTSD, come to mind. MASH also has some videos that I can say something about. I'm not sure if I've babbled out, but I have noticed students blow through whatever time or word limits the professor has attempted to impose. I will thank anybody who is still listening or reading. With that, I will say what I say to any students, PhDs, that I'm talking to. Any questions? There's more than one answer to the questions pointing me in a crooked line. The less that I see the point of some definitive, closer I am fine. The Indigo Girls again.